Hello there. Welcome to the show. Today we have Austin, Texas-based group Belligerence. They described their sound to me as metallic hardcore, and really, it fucking slaps. I hope y'all enjoy, and hit the music.
Maybe 10 minutes away from me, and I moved up to Hutto. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm the only South Austin person left in the band right now. Everyone else went north.
Yeah. I mean, real estate's cheaper up here. So
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So have y'all, let's see. I know you said you started the band, Gabe. How long have y'all been a band officially?
okay, so I actually went and looked at this in the group chat the other day. Not the group chat, but like my chat with Matt the other day, because we were like talking about records or something, and I was like, "Damn, I wonder how long, like, what the official date is," because I really wanted to add the the little voice chat thing back or not the voice chat, sorry, my screen went black. That's why I said that. I was wanting to put the like belligerence thing back on my Facebook page so like people would know like who I am. But anyway, I looked back at it, so it said September of 2019 is when me and Matt first started talking about it. I remember him posting about it in like late August. Now, this band has been through, like, a lot of different lineup changes. Like, the first time I tried getting this band together was in, like, October of, like, 2018. I got it together with some guys from, like, the punk scene up in Temple, Texas. And I love all those guys so much, but, like, they were, like, playing a lot of, like, doom metal and, like, sludge metal riffs and stuff. And I was like, that's not the sound I'm looking for. So I called it on that band because one of the band members had a kid. So I moved it down to Austin, and there's this band called Condolencer that's here in Austin that's still active right now. And they were previously known as Penalty Box, and Penalty Box had just like, I don't know if they had called it quits or what, but they were on hiatus, and their bass player and guitarist came up to me, or it was kind of like a mutual thing. We came up to each other and we're like, hey, we're looking to do music. And we worked on that, and it didn't really go anywhere. And I blew out my throat one practice because I hit too high of a note after I'd been sick. And they were already working on getting the other band back together. So we called it again. And then at this point, the only people in the band were me and our drummer, Mike. And I was like, yo, Mike, we got to find some people, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, he was spitballing some people to me, but I didn't know any of them. And then I saw Matt post something on the Texas Hardcore page because he'd like just moved down to the area. And he's like, yo, I'm new to the area. I'm looking for like bands that need a guitarist in the vein of like Harm's Way and Knocked Loose and a couple other bands. I just remember the first one being like Harm's Way, and I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah, definitely. I gotta message this guy. So I messaged him and I was like, hey dude, we need a guitarist, do you want to join our band? And he's like, oh, do you want to hear my demo tapes or anything? I was like, nah. Like, I don't give a shit about that. We just need a guitarist. If you know what I'm talking about, like, that's good enough for me. And then he happened to send me some demo tapes that he recorded with our other guitarist, Nate. And I was like, holy shit, this is mean. And pretty much ever since then, it's been me, Matt, Nate, and Mike. And we've had the bass players switch out a couple times, and every now and then Nate's had to move over to bass, but that's part of being in a band. So
I haven't heard the name Harm's Way in a long time. Holy shit, this gave me like goosebumps, nostalgia, and all that. Golly.
yeah, if it wasn't for Harm's Way, I wouldn't have learned how to like do the screaming vocals. Even though my scream's a little higher, kind of like on the side of like, you know, disembodied and, you know, knocked loose in regards to overall tone. I learned how to scream because one time I was talking about Harm's Way to one of my friends, and they were like, "Oh, they don't sound like that." I'm like, "Yeah, they do." And then like I mimicked like the way their vocalist did something, and like I wasn't doing it seriously. And then one of my friends was like, "I thought you said you couldn't scream," and I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You just screamed and it didn't sound like shit." So I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I can scream now." And yeah. And then it just turned into a very long and hard process of trying to like nail a particular vocal tone for myself that sounds original but doesn't sound like crap. So
And just out of curiosity, how tall are you? Because I have this weird
me,
theory. Yeah.
I'm like 5'10", 5'10", 10 and a half,
So you're
maybe.
a big guy, not small guy anyway.
Yeah, I'm very average.
Yeah, because I meet a lot of vocalists and like just for instance Phil Bozeman. Hearing this dude is gonna be a big dude. Dude's like 5'2". Like a lot of vocalists are like that. I'll have them on the show and then go see them live, and then I'm like, dude, you're a lot smaller than I imagined. So I know it's a stupid weird theory, but I figure like some vocalists just get their brutality from, not to be a dick or anything, but like little man syndrome. They're just angry and want to be heard finally, you know.
I mean, I definitely got to say, like, some of them. I'm not a huge Counterparts fan, but I'm a huge End fan. But Brandon Murphy from that band, he's a really tiny guy, and he has like, especially when he does the End stuff, he just has this booming fucking voice that like has such a crazy range. So like, I've definitely seen some shorter artists go off. Who's another good one?
Dude
Brian
from Body Snatcher too.
Oh yeah, Kyle. I'm taller than Kyle from Body Snatcher. I've actually hung out with him a little bit. He's such a sweet dude. With such a like mean ass band, you think, you know, like, oh, maybe they'd be like assholes in real life. No, they're like the sweetest people ever, and like they'll talk to you over Facebook and all that shit. Like if you message them, I don't know. It's pretty cool. Brian Garris from Knocked Loose is he's a pretty tiny dude too. Like when I was up on stage with him when I was like stage diving for Knocked Loose at like the Dallas show, I got like a solid like 2 or 3 inches on that dude. He's I didn't, you know, I thought he was gonna be taller. I guess it was just because of all the pictures I saw of the band, but the only really tall one is their bass player, and I can't remember his fucking name to save my life right now. He's the shaved head dude that's in Inclination and all that stuff. Why can't I remember his name? Isaac Hale, that's his name. Isaac Hale. But he's the only tall member of that band.
I feel like to be be a bass player, you have to be at least lanky, not necessarily tall. But I don't know why. Maybe.
Yeah, it is weird. Like I've kind of noticed that before, that there's so many bass players that are just really, really lanky. Yeah.
Yeah. Though I mean, I've definitely seen some, you know, shorter bass players and stuff before. That, I mean, it makes them look like a little kid playing their dad's guitar. But I've also seen like some really, really tall motherfuckers play bass. Like Chase from Virtue is like one of the biggest dudes I've ever met in my life. Dude's like probably 6'4", 6'5", weighs like a solid 250 of pure muscle, and like he makes his bass look like a toothpick. Like he's just such a buff fucking guy. So it's like I don't know. It's just like I think bass is a very very cool instrument, and I hold it near and dear to me because that's what I used to play in like high school and stuff. So I don't know. I definitely agree that there's like generally a stereotype to how bass players look, and it's not like a mean stereotype. It's just a it's a pretty accurate one.
I don't know if you watched South Park at all. That just made me think about an episode where I think they're trying to start a band, and Cartman tells Token that he has to be the bass player. He's like, "You've played bass, right?" He's like, "No, I've never played bass." And like they eventually just give him a bass guitar, and he just starts like riffing on it, and he's like, "God damn it!" Just because.
I don't.
Is that like
I don't
when
think
they
I've
tried
seen
doing
that
the
one.
Christian band? Is that like one of the earlier episodes when they tried doing like the Christian band or whatever?
I think so. I can't remember, man. South Park jokes just all run together for me.
Yeah. I mean, I know they did one recently where it was like like Stan, Kyle, Butters, and one other person. Like I think they covered like Infant Annihilator or something on this
it was
show,
so
and it was
brutal.
Oh yeah.
And that shit was fucking hilarious.
I love
but-
South Park, man. Those dudes are so funny. Matt, what are the
Yeah.
names? Fucking, I can't remember the two.
Trey and something.
Trey Parker and Matt
I just
Stone.
remember Trey. Yeah,
That's it. Those dudes are two Mormon dudes came together, made a fucking construction paper cartoon in college. Turns out to be one of the biggest things in all of animation history. And the fact that they went to an award show of some time, tripping on acid, dressed in drag, and are still super duper famous is amazing. Like that's, I want to be like that. Not necessarily dressed in drag or anything, but
I think they ended up renouncing their faith because like they did that whole like screenplay about the Book of Mormon or whatever. That's like a comedic take on Mormonism and whatnot. And I know the Mormon Church was they were like, I know some Mormons that were like, wow, this is accurate, but like in a funny way, and they they took it with like a grain of salt. And then like the more hardcore Mormons were like, yo, this is kind of offensive, blah blah blah, you're making fun of the church, this isn't cool. And they kind of got disowned by the Mormon Church. So I don't know if they still practice that part of their religion or whatever, but I just know that there was like a big controversy with it, and like the Mormon Church distanced themselves from them for a while.
Well, I mean, I know if it's made by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, it's going to be offensive. It's like it's made to be a joke. Like if you're gonna be like take that much offense to it, you don't understand it. You know what I mean? Because one of my librarians here in Snyder, she's like super Bible thumping Christian, but she went to New York and saw that play on Broadway, and she loved it. But I mean, I don't know how, like, I don't really follow religion, so I don't know how all that shit, like, coincides. I know it's kind of pretty much the same story, just in different... Well, we're not going to get into religion. We're here to talk about music.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but yeah, we try to, on that note, you know, like, we try to be as, like, broad stroked as possible. Like, we try to keep, you know, political ideology and other stuff out of the band, even though like we're all firm planted in like our political beliefs. Like I myself, like I'm a very socially progressive, like left-wing person, you know, and the majority of the band, or if not all of the band, is that as well. But we don't really touch on that just because we know that's like a hot button and that can piss a lot of people off. And, you know, like some of us, especially me, like I get angry text messages from my family all the time being like, really, you're in a band that's saying like all pigs must die and like all this other stuff? And I'm like,
and then you reply with ACAB.
Yeah. Like, I'm just like,
Probably.
I'm like, yeah, okay. And they're, you know,
And look,
I don't know.
I know about the whole getting people pissed off. Within 2 months, I've had to change my password on Facebook 3 times due to suspicious activity. Mind you, this suspicious activity they showed me what it was. It was 3 videos